One day I woke up, it's heart palpitation, it's high and low blood pressure, it's dizziness. I can barely walk from here to there. I can't function. I can't cook. My son, Teddy, 10-year-old, he has long hair because his dad have dreads.
Did menopause ever make you question yourself or your identity?
There was so much thing happening. I'm actually in the bathroom to take a bath. There is something happening to my body. I've been to the best doctors. I've been to EKG. I have done head scan. I have done every single thing that I can think about. She was like, what I can tell you right now, you are giving me, I have no record of anything wrong with you. So how on earth something is happening to you that the blood work is not coming back? I send you for every test you, because what on earth is happening to me? How could I go from 0 to 100? It's all in your mind. And when people tell you that, trust me, Miss Lia. When people tell you that it's all in your mind, as a perimenopause person, it aggravates your spirit.
Yeah.
That you could block them immediately because you know you want help.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Woman Witness podcast on the Woman Witness TV network. I'm your host, Lia Fortier. Here on this platform, we bring to you voices of dynamic women that are out there making a positive impact in their lives, in their family, and the community around them. Women of faith, women of resilience, women who have battled through something, and they are bold enough, strong enough to turn around, grab the hand of another sister, and be a witness. Today, I'm so excited to be joined by my guest today, Miss Susan Hazel. She is a faith-based menopause doula and wellness guide dedicated to helping women navigate perimenopause and menopause with clarity, compassion, and faith. Susan is also the author of The Kayla Story, Is My Body Betraying Me? Her work is deeply personal, born from her own confusion and emotional menopause journey. So now she creates a safe space where women can feel seen, they can feel supported and empowered, not just go through menopause, but actually grow with confidence and faith. I want you all to help me welcome my guest today, Miss Susan Hazel. Hey, Susan, welcome to the Well. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Lia. How are you today?
I am fantastic. Um, Thank you for being here. I told you before, I cannot wait to get into your story, but you have to correct me. I'm sorry. As I was reading this, I want to say, remind me or clarify the name of your book. I want to get into that, right? We're not going to jump into it now, but I want to get more into it. I just want to make sure that I said that correctly. So you have such a beautiful ministry. And I love the fact that you are out here guiding women through it, because I feel like it doesn't get spoken about enough. There are a lot of changes with our bodies, and we have no idea what to expect. And I kind of feel this way. And I'm gonna tell you right now, Miss Susan, I'm so excited to talk about this. Okay. That I'm gonna try to follow through. But I feel like there is like this compass, and people say like, "Oh, expect this at this certain time in your life. Expect this." So when these changes happen to our bodies, we don't know, and we don't know what's going on, and we're confused. So I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. So I'm glad that you're here to talk about this. I just want to talk to you. For those who don't know you, I read a little bit about you, but can you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about who Miss Susan Hazel is?
Okay. So Miss Susan Hazel is from the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago. I live in the US for over 20 years now. I started my journey of writing before I came to America. And I got involved in, when I came here, I already got involved in baby nursing, which is like being a newborn care specialist. That's also my trade. I stopped like a year ago because of perimenopause. And now I'm here and I decide I'm going to take writing more seriously than I took it 20 something years ago. And this is where the book started coming along, but never thought I was going to write about perimenopause. So I have two sons, right? One is a man, I will see, and one is a 10-year-old, right? Married, of course. And everything about me is just simple. I do ministry, online ministry. I help with women, also coaching with menopause. I have a online class also where I do classes with them, whether it's one-on-one or we have Zoom meeting. Also, I am the founder, co-founder, and founder of Megawealth Specialist Academy. That is on school.com. A lot of us hear about school.com, where we speak about relationships, we speak about financial issues, we speak about biblical wealth, we teach biblical teachings, and we talk about perimenopause. We do baby care, we do baby new starter kit. So inside of there, you will find everything inside of that academy. And I made it very affordable because I taught of women in perimenopause. That was my first thought. So to join the academy to learn everything and more is $5. Now I know I just throw that in, but you know what to do with that part. But it's because I taught of women in perimenopause. And it's a stigma. And the journey started from my mother because we were very small. My dad died when I was 9 years. And maybe like 2 years after, she started with perimenopause. Now, we didn't know the word perimenopause. We just know the word menopause. So she didn't know what was happening to her because she maybe was pretty young. I'm not too sure what was her age at that time. But we know something was wrong. She was just bleeding nonstop. And she was just laying on the bed. We have no clue for like months, maybe a year, she was just there. And remember, my dad had just died, and this was like 2 years after. When my dad was alive, I didn't know that people used to go hungry. I never knew that people never used to had pads, sanitary napkins, sanitary pads. I don't know those things existed until he died. Not that I was seeing my having my periods at the age of 9, but I never knew that people was poverty existed. I don't know what was that word. I never heard of it. It was never spoken about in our home because my dad was a builder. He was a contractor, and we had food like 3 square meals, and we had extras. He was actually cooking and feeding people. So the word hunger never existed in our home. The only time you was hungry is because you wanted something to eat, but it wasn't like the kitchen had no food. Like we don't know what was that. That was something strange to us. So when he died, my mom now being sick, we couldn't afford to go to the doctor with her. So when she did get to the doctor said, "You are in menopause." So that's when we know the word menopause because I never heard of it before. We never spoke of it. She had no clue what was happening to her. And that's where menopause came along. So I watched her suffer in a silent way. And then something she used to be doing. And when I started to write Kayla's story, which is me talking, I'm talking about myself, something happened. I was like, I need to go back to her to remember some things. And I remember one of the things she did to us, and we were confused. But now I understand it today. She used to tell us, get ready. She's going to take us out. And we are like, where are we going? She's like, we are going to go out. But remember, we are poor. We didn't have money for transportation, but I think she wanted to do something with us. And what will happen? She will say, I have to lay down and you all get ready. And by the time you're all ready, because there's 8 of us, I'm the fifth. So think how much I have to get ready. So she said, like, you all get ready. And of course, there's elders because I'm the fifth. And we all will get ready and we will just sit there and she's not getting up from the bed. And we don't know what happened. Then she get up in the evening and she'll be like, I will take you all tomorrow because it's too late now. And we will be like, okay. And this went on for months. But now when I look back at it now, we are now understanding what was happening to her body. It was all because of perimenopause. Yes. So tired, it was unbelievable. And that's where my story started, from my mother journey to my journey. And remember, we couldn't afford sanitary pads. We couldn't afford those things. So these clothes were being washed late in the evening and hung where no one can see. So we go through a time in our life where no one spoke about it. It was like just a stigma. But something is happening to women. You see, I had one of my aunties, she would just be sweating and she's like, this is menopause. But it was just a word and then it was shut down. So there was no question, there was nothing spoken about it. But in perimenopause, you realize there is so much mood swings. There is so much thing that comes along with it. You could always tell me when you want to ask me something, I'll just pause, right? There is so much mood swing. Yeah, there's so much mood swing. There's brain fog. There's so much things happening with our body. I was expected to just be bleeding like my mom and just, well, sweating. That is all. But one day I woke up, it's heart palpitation, it's high and low blood pressure, it's dizziness. I could barely walk from here to there. I can't function. I can't cook. My son, Teddy, 10-year-old, he has long hair because his dad have dreads, right? It's always been maintained. I can't see about my son. My cousin have to wash his hair. The most I could do is sit and plait his hair. There was so much thing happening. I'm actually leaning in the bathroom to take a bath. there is something happening to my body. I've been to the best doctors. I've been to EKG. I have done head scan. I have done every single thing that I could think about. And there is just no answer. And I decided there's something have to be wrong with me. So I went to Google my best friend. And then I realized that after journaling all my symptoms, I started going to Google and I was like, there's somebody have to know what's happening to me out there because the doctors don't know. And I started reading and I started journaling my story. And then I was like, nothing ever told me in my head, nowhere in my life, I would ever write a book based on perimenopause. I have never seen that coming. But because of my journey in no one being able to tell me, not even the doctors, it was a scary thing to me that people need to know that there is something out there that is happening to our bodies and we are transitioning, not for the worse, but for the better. This is our stage. And how do we deal with it? How do we go about it?
I love that. I love the story and I love the rich history of it,
Mhm.
tying back to your mother
Yes.
and finding yourself along that way. I want to ask you, when you look back at the beginning of your menopause journey, and you said that you had to go back to what your mom had went through to find out what you were going through. What did that feel like to you, not just physically, but in your spirit? Can you like describe a day that stood out to you, that something had to be done, something you had to find out something more and tell yourself something different?
Yes. Because I have my doctor for like over 17 years. And when I get to her office on many trips, because I was going regularly to find out what's happening, she was like, what I can tell you right now, you are giving me anxiety. And I was like, she said, because I've been treating you for so many years. She said, this is your record. And she pulled it up on the screen and she's like, I have no record of anything wrong with you. So how on earth something is happening to you that the blood work is not coming back? I send you for every test you requested. I have tried my best. She said, anxiety is coming on me just having you sitting in my office. And now that tells me that if the doctor can help me, then who can help me? Well, we already know about God because I'm a believer. But I'm talking about just physically around me, something is happening now. What do I do? And then I decide, okay, I'm going to go to my mother. And it was a painful decision to make, but I also wanted to get my story out there. I wanted to be in a room where people can relate to me. I wanted to hear other people speak about it. I wanted people to know that it's not a stigma. We need to break that stigma because this is something that's happening to our bodies. We are still alive. I had a client in baby, while doing baby nursing, that I think that was in 2024. When I started talking about it, she said, I started perimenopause at the age of 28. So then I realized that, uh, yeah, 28, yes. So I realized that this something need to be happen. So it was a journey that took me back in a sad way, but I was also happy and excited that yes, I can say something about perimenopause. Now I can relate because remember I was not paying attention to it. So even though the journey was a sad journey to go back to talk to her, even it was a sad journey knowing that no one knows anything, I was excited to do research and see other women speak about it. I was excited to just go to a woman's meeting where they were speaking about menopause. You know, one woman I heard in a Zoom meeting, she said, at once I was in the kitchen and she said, I started speaking in tongues because I assumed I was being attacked. There was a demonic attack on me. So she started speaking in tongues and calling on every fire that she know because what on earth is happening to me? How could I go from 0 to 100? And just hearing people, echoes of other women, it gave me a light and a brightness and a shine that I am not alone. That there is somebody there like me. This is, I'm not going crazy because the first thing you will hear, you are crazy. You are not found. It's all in your mind. And when people tell you that, trust me, Miss Leah. When people tell you that it's all in your mind as a perimenopause person, it aggravates your spirit. You get upset. You could block them immediately because you know you want help and no one can help you. You just want somebody to listen to you and understand how, like my husband told my son recently, I think it was Thursday or Friday, he's like, um, you know your mom know the whole of New York, right? And your mom accustomed running the train and your mom accustomed doing all these things. And my son looked at the phone very confused because they were talking and he was on the phone. He's like, but I thought you said my mom don't go anywhere. He's like, I mean, like now. So he was like, well, he didn't to explain to me because like the mother I knew, I'm knowing today, there's something a little bit off that she's not leaving the house, right? So I take my book and I read it every day. It's like because I am here, every time I read it, there's something new. And I start to function and I say, wow, I could go outside now because it's okay. There's nothing wrong with me. Before I was scared to go to do the laundry. I was scared of the elevator. I was so scared of everything. But I don't know what is scared. What is how did I get in this circle? How did I
Yeah.
go
Let
from
me
doing
let
that?
me
Sure, go ahead.
Can I ask you, when you say
Sure.
that you were scared and it was hard to go from, your place of comfort inside your home to going
Yes.
out, what was it that worried you? Was it just like the anxiety? Was it the fact that maybe you will be unwell? What was it that scared you?
Well, that's the first thing that came to me because remember, there was a time where blood pressure was so high. Yeah. So I'm leaving the house and I'm packing everything. And then remember, I'm having dizzy spells. So I don't want to be walking the road with my 8-year-old now. He's 10 now. And something is happening to me. What do I? I don't want to be in the elevator because I'm assuming that the elevator might just not work. I don't want to go to the laundry. I'm assuming that maybe I might just fall in the laundry. And I have a lot of assumption and assuming in my mind. So when I build up all that in my mind there, because nobody's telling me what's wrong with me, I don't leave the house because there is something happening to me. And remember, my ministry is online. I don't have to go to. No, I wasn't doing perimenopause ministry as yet. I was just doing church ministry. So I didn't have to leave. And then when I decided to go to church now, there was something happening. The ride to the church, there was an issue right there. So I was getting panic attack because I'm not in my safe comfort zone anymore. So just going outside took me in a position where I don't feel safe because I'm not familiar with the surrounding. Now these are places I custom going to. I'm in a car with my friends. Like I have one girlfriend here, and I'm in a car with her, and I'm safe with her and her fiance. But the thing about it, the issue was I'm not in my comfort zone. I don't see my chair, I don't see my bed, I don't see things that I'm familiar with. I'm telling you something going to happen to me. Where do I go? You understand? So
Yeah.
because nobody spoke
Yeah,
about it.
understand. Understand. Let
Well,
me
that's the
let
thing.
me ask you, what oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, I want to ask you, what were some of the thoughts that you kept to yourself during these times? Thoughts, when I say thoughts, I mean, what are some of the things that you just maybe couldn't even tell your closest friends what was going on, and what felt the hardest to say out loud?
What the thoughts was, first to begin, I'm asking myself, what's wrong with me? Who is willing to listen to me? Who is willing to, I can share my story with? Because you have to start with your family, supposed to begin, who is seeing something is wrong with you, but they first started telling you that something is wrong with you, but it's in your mind. Now, if you have family telling that there's nothing wrong with you, because remember, you dress, you function, you look normal, but there's still something wrong with you. So now, how do you start sharing when everybody believes that you are okay?
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
because no one is believing you, because everybody's like, just go outside, just take a walk. You need sunlight. You need this. You know, I know what I need, but nobody's recycling back to who was this person. And this is where we fail as a community, as a family, as church members, as everybody, because what we are focusing on, the person where they need to be, but they're not focusing where that person was before they need to be at that spot. So we miss the whole area of that person's life because we just want them to be here now. But what is causing them not to be here now? So let me go back
Yeah.
a little bit, right? And when I go
Yep.
back a bit, you will see this was a person who had a life. She would jump on a plane. I've been to South Africa in 2023. I've been here. I've been traveling. I've been here. I've been all over. I've been Martins Vineyards. I've been California. I've been Trinidad. I've been here. I've been to Tortola, the British Virgin Islands. So this is a person that travels. What went wrong that happened in these few months no longer want to go outside. What is she saying that we need to hear? And this is we tell people we have to listen to what people are saying. But when it comes to perimenopause, because it's nowhere spoken about, except for now, people is not hearing you. Well, there's something changed in my body, but people cannot relate to your age. They cannot assume, well, this is wrong with you because they never heard it. So all they're telling all in your mind. But now because it's spoken about, the stigma is being broken now. From the time people relate, you say something, people can relate and say, what is your age? Maybe you check the doctor said X, Y, and Z, and they will say, well, just maybe it could be perimenopause. Maybe you could look into that. So that become part of our assignment now to tell women. But remember, it was not there. In the last 2 years, nobody could have told me that because nobody knew of it. So my
Mhm.
son, if I call him, he's 10 years, he could give you a sermon on perimenopause. He's making my YouTube videos to me.
Yeah. I
Then
love
why?
it.
Yeah, because he's hearing about perimenopause. The book is in front of him. The meetings are going on. He's hearing about it. So it's not he not ashamed to talk about it. Like when I
Yeah.
dressed just now, he's like, Mom, I was expecting you to look like menopause.
I love it. I love
So
it.
we started laughing, and I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "Well, sometimes we walk around here. I don't know who you are, but I know you are my mom. So I see a different person today." So we laughed and joke about it. Every time I dress,
Yeah.
he's excited to see me dressed because he see his mom again.
He see
But
his
if
mom
yeah,
again.
so if I didn't tell him about perimenopause and about menopause, he will just be like, every day he see me and he don't know what state to expect or what's happening. Like if I call him now, you will hear him coming down the corridor. You'll swear something is happening, and he's wondering, oh my gosh, I need to get to my mom. He dropped everything, and I'll be like, I'm okay, because there were once a time where I needed him to come quickly. I have all my water. I just need him to open my medicine. I just need to get my blood pressure kit. There was something, even though it's right there to me, I just couldn't get it. I just have to ask for help. So if he's not aware, and if the adults in the house is not aware, who is going to attend to you in a right timing, and who is not going to look down on you and tell you, well, you can do it for yourself.
Oh, I know. That's good right there. And I love the
So,
fact that you're
yeah,
oh, I froze. And I
yeah,
love the fact that you're educating your son so now he knows as well. I think
yeah,
that's so important. I want to
yes.
ask you, do you think that other women are having the same issues and thoughts right now that you were once having?
Yes, they all are. They all are. But
Yeah.
because the stigma is a little bit broken now, and there are so many but it's speaking about it, even Oprah came out and spoke about it. So because of that now, when Oprah said what she said, now people realize that, but if she can speak about it, if Haley Berry can speak about it, if this one can speak about it, if this one, well, just maybe these things are not, I am not crazy. These things actually happen to them. So who is me? So because of that, so it becomes normal now. It's like it's no longer hidden, but yet still some people, like, I have a friend, and she mentioned something to me that, when she spoke about menopause, the mother decide don't say it for the daughter to hear, because she believed that it's not something that needs to be said in the home. So people
Mm,
are always in a
interesting.
position where they're still trying to cover it up, but they are going through it.
That's so interesting. Uh, I didn't even imagine why, but let me let me ask this question. What happens when those thoughts stay unspoken?
It becomes a trigger to something that is not aware of it. So a trigger only happens, one of the triggers, I shouldn't say only, one of the triggers could happen when you don't know something, it will trigger you. Because what I know is not going to trigger me. I'm going to allow it to trigger me. I already know you're going to come and cause trouble. So when I see you coming, I already identify you as trouble. So you can't say anything to get me to trigger any again. But when I don't know you and you say something, I'm going to react because you're going to trigger me because I don't know you. So when perimenopause is being hidden, menopause is being hidden and it's not spoken about, when it happens, it gives a trigger to people because I don't know what's happening. So even though it's going to happen to me, it's not going to trigger me into 100%. It will take 50% of my time and energy because why? I will assume in my head that first thing is perimenopause. So let me take back a step. Now, the things I used to rush to finish now, Miss Leah, I don't do it no more.
Mhm. Mhm.
I
I
don't do
love
it no more. Because now I know that I have to pause. Now I know I have to sit for half an hour. Now I understand I might have to just drink a sip of water. Now I
yeah.
understand that this is what I need to do at this time. This is what I need to incorporate in my diet. This is what I need
Yeah.
to incorporate in my diet because now I know what's happening to my body. So when I thought my
Mm.
body was betraying me, my body was actually speaking to me for me to listen. Because
I
I know
love
now, I do better. So I'm not
yeah.
triggered by everything again. I'm not startled by everything. I will just, okay, this is perimenopause. If I'm doing the
Yeah.
dishes and for some reason something don't feel too right, I will tell myself, no, well, the dishes could get washed. Nothing is happening. And I will go and I
Mm.
will sit and I will pause. I will say my favorite psalm, right open in front of me, Psalm 27.
Oh, I
That's my
love it.
salvation. So when I start to
Yeah.
say that psalm, I just calm myself down and I get in a different thought. And about 20 minutes after I'll get up, like nothing never happened and
Yeah.
I'll continue doing the dishes. But before I didn't know, so I tried to fight to get the dishes done, and I was fighting my body when my body was in rest. Yes, so my body were calling for rest, but I was fighting it because this is the body that once carried children, it carry work, it carry husband, it carry chores, it carry everything. And now it was asking for rest then, but because I was able to carry it, I carried all and I did not rest. Or
Yeah.
we did not rest. Go ahead.
Ye No, I love what you're saying, and I love the even the title of your book that you thought your body was betraying or my body is betraying me, but it's actually speaking to me. I wanna ask you, did menopause ever make you question yourself or your identity? If so, then in what way, did you feel like you were changing?
What it did to me, it questioned everything about me. Every single thing, from the crown of my head to the sole of my feet. And why I say that, I lose 30 pounds. I was a person that get up Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I mean, I'm just calling the days when I say get up. I mean, I'm getting up 7 days a week. But those was the days that I was exercising. Those are the day I had a figure that I mean, I didn't have to worry about anything. I mean, I just get up, I have all my weights. If I flip it, there's weights, there's this, there's that. I mean, I could exercise, I could do everything. And then all of a sudden now, from exercising, from going to work. I was a 24 hours baby nurse. I was a 12 hours baby nurse. I just live a normal life. I could have strolled on the phone. I could have listened to music hard in my ear, loud. I should say not hard, but loud. I could have watched TV any time of the day. I mean, there was things I could have just done. I could have just go to the kitchen and fry some chicken and eat it, or I could have just go buy something and eat. And then all of a sudden, one day, can't do none of those.
Everything's not.
So I started asking myself, what's wrong with my body? Where did I go wrong? What did I do wrong? Or what did I didn't do right? Did not
Mm,
do right. So we start asking ourselves questions. So this is where the question come in and say,
that's good.
happening to my body? Because you have to remember you go from doing everything to not doing anything or not eating everything. So your health coming to play now, and you start telling yourself, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do that. Because my son keep asking me, he's like, are you going to go back to do the squats? Are you going to go back to do this? Because when I was exercising, he used to run up and down because he's homeschooled, and he'd be like, I need to come and hang with you. And he will stay at 5 minutes. So not that he's doing anything, but he tell himself he's doing something. So he's like, when am I going to start back? So you realize that a whole part of your life has just gone. I mean, it's just 2 years, but it feels plenty because what you've been through in that 2 years is not easy. You have to
Yeah.
know God to survive. And I'm not saying that
Yeah.
people don't know what they didn't survive. I don't know how they did it, but I survived through God because
Because
there's
it's
so
more
much.
it's your hormones, right?
Yeah.
And this isn't like it's your hormones, they're going, they're all over the place. And that's fine. It's normal, right? I mean, like I haven't been through it, Miss Susan, and then I
Yes.
I I, I want to dig deeper as well
Yes.
because we usually have that little stretch of time, our
Mhm.
5 days or 7 days a
Yes.
week where just I can be happy one minute, mad the next, just a mess, the next. So, you know, if I'm trying to understand it being like there's no turn off switch.
No, no, no,
There's no
no,
end time. There's no
no,
like, okay, I got a week and then I can
no.
relate why I'm mad, why I'm snapping at everyone or why
For
I'm
that
just
5 days
tired.
or that 7 days, I'm
That's
okay.
right.
Next
Right.
1 days, everybody's gonna like me. And I say,
Right.
you that's the next 20 years. No, 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 no. We don't have that.
Yes.
So we have a
Yes.
constant battle. You're just fighting a battle every day. You don't know what day it's going to be. But what
Yeah.
I notice and what happens
Mm.
along the way, you start getting better. Because as long as you
Yeah.
know what's happening to the body, you can relate to what's happening to the body. And then you tell yourself, you start speaking to yourself in a different mindset and you start renewing your mind, you start renewing your thoughts, you start to eliminate
Mm.
stress. Because what I found with me in perimenopause, if somebody say A, I'll say A plus. B, B plus. I need to leave you. Okay, thank you. I need to stay with you. Okay, thank you. So what we do in perimenopause, we come okay and the yes and the no. So whatever you agree with, we just agree with it. Why? We're not gonna waste our energy on you
I ain't got it today. I don't have it today. I'm
because we don't want no stress.
tomato,
You
tomato, whatever
yeah,
you want.
and you say, yes, that sounds really good. You agree? Yes, I agree. You're stupid. Of course I am. Yes, And all we are
Uh,
saying is watching the time, eh? You have 2 more minutes to tell me how stupid I am. And okay, bye, no problem.
yeah.
And we smile and we set you off. And you telling yourself, but them stupid for real. No, no, no. We are so excited that you have left. We
Yeah.
have decided. Because
I don't
people tell
have it
themselves that,
today.
yeah, they keep looking for a trigger in you, but perimenopause is like survival mode. And when I say
Mm.
survival mode, every moment of the day, you are praying for a better moment. So you're not going to waste time on a phone call or somebody don't like you, somebody want to say something negative to you. You just say, okay, all right, and you agree. You come so much in agreement, not in a bad way, but for peace. So if you
Mm.
was a loud person, if you're smart, you'll try to calm down and don't get in triggers. Because what happens
Mhm.
now, you need your energy, you need your space, you need that mental, you need the thoughts to flow free. So stress is not on my timeline. I
No.
eliminate you completely. I just say, okay, 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 okay. I agree. And I,
Okay, can I ask you something, Miss Susan? Is there forgive me, but trying to hear my question here. Is there a way that we can begin to work on ourselves now to prepare for
yes,
that time?
yes, yes,
Interesting. Okay,
yes.
talk to me about that.
That's why we have, and we have something for the men. Because what happens is that if you have your husband, um, he needs to know. And this is why I call it not a medical book, it's a story because it will tell you from my journey to the journey to today. And then, as I say, I have the academy where I teach women the journey is a daily journey. You don't fight anything. What you just start doing is you start renewing your mind.
Renewing your mind.
Yes. So when you start renewing your mind, and one of the way to renew your
That's
mind,
it.
let's say you're not in perimenopause, because
Mhm.
now that we know what's going to come to us, you
Yeah.
start focusing on if it's a health plan, because in my case, I cannot work, but no one prepared me for that. I was prepared for being a good wife, taking care of my kids, making sure I keep the job that I have, making sure I like my in laws, making sure I do everything good. So I was prepared for everything, but I was never prepared for the body that is going to have to transition in perimenopause. So we was not prepared for health when it comes to live a healthier lifestyle. Do a little less, ask for help, know when to rest, know when to pause. Everything could get done. So we rush our body and rush our body, and now we realize that everything that we were rushing, we can't do it no more. Where does it find us now? So because we know now if I had known this 2 years ago, when perimenopause came along, first thing I would have said, even to the doctors are saying this, I would start writing on everything. And then I would say, okay, I could eat this. This is my trigger point. I can't eat fruits. I can't eat this. I can't. No, as much as everything is good, you start paying attention because you're telling yourself from the time you go to the doctor, because you have to go there, right? And they tell you all, nothing is wrong with you, as I say, from the crown of your head to the sole of your feet, nothing is wrong. Okay, Pastor, pray for me. Nothing's wrong with me. Okay. Perimenopause. What is my age? Doesn't even matter. Let's just do the maths. And now you start taking care of yourself immediately because you start processing now before it get worse. So your mental have to come in agreement with I'm dealing with perimenopause. And long as you bring yourself into that understanding and alignment, your thoughts start aligning with perimenopause. Because when you don't know, your thoughts cannot align with anything. It's all
Yeah.
over the place. So because I
Yeah.
was all over the place, I just didn't know. But now that I know, my thoughts are in alignment with perimenopause.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
as younger woman,
Mhm.
let's pretend I'm younger. I'm going to bring my
Mhm.
thoughts in alignment that in the next 2 or 3 years, this is what I have to deal with. I'm going to
Mhm.
start reading. I'm going to start to understand. I'm going to know how to
Yeah.
deal with all these things. I have to understand brain fog. I have to understand brain memory. I have to understand hot flashes. I have to understand that I'm going to have fatigue. I'm going to understand I'm going to have mood swings. I have to have some days I don't want to be around people.
Mm.
Can take loud noise. I can't watch a TV screen. I'll understand that I have to stop scrolling on the phone and everything by if it's 8 o'clock because I'm going to go to bed by 8, 10 o'clock. I need 2 hours of freedom in my head. I need to wake up in the morning. I don't need to stroll on the phone. I need to leave all those things. I don't need to hear what's happening because I was not there. I don't need to hear it now. I need to. It took place that I didn't know, so why worry about it now?
Yeah.
When if we could go back, we were in perimenopause are wishing to go back
Yeah.
because we know now that if
Yeah.
somebody could have told us something so that we could prepare ourselves today.
I love this. I love this so much, Miss Susan, because I do believe that we can begin to start now by even pushing ourselves or challenging ourselves even before, like, if throughout your 7 days, can you get through 7 days?
Yes,
Peopling, can you get through
yes,
7 days
yes.
dealing with,
20 some
how
days.
you're feeling?
Yes,
Yes.
yes, we can do it because you see what happened is that in the class, what I teach people is like, we are not too old to learn.
Yeah.
We might be too old to renew
Mm.
your mind. And when I say too old to renew your mind, that's by your choice.
Yeah.
Because if you want to stay in the old mindset, I can renew the mind. I can force it to be renewed. But
Right.
long as you can renew the mind, you can renew the body.
That's
I have
true.
to renew my mind. I have to unlearn the things that I learned. I have to stop blaming who did not know and who did not taught me anything. I have to stop worrying about the doctors, but I have to know what it is I know now and how do I do better with myself
That's
to
true.
continue for the rest of time that God have me here in the face of the earth. So I am learning to accept perimenopause as a transition because I have to tell myself, Ruth lived through it,
Mm. Mm.
Eve
Mm-hmm.
lived through it,
Yes.
somebody lived through it. How did they deal
Yeah.
with it? They start
Yeah.
teaching the younger women. Wisdom was coming into them. They had children
Yeah.
at a certain age. They did things differently at that age. So there is things that we can do and help ourselves to understand that I am not lost. I'm not losing my mind. I'm not
Yeah.
crazy. Today, I have found the truth and I know how to live better. I eat better. I look at foods that I eat that will trigger. You don't want to be drinking coffee at 6 o'clock knowing that perimenopause is going to have you up all night.
You need to go to sleep. Let me ask you this. How did you move from confusion to calling?
Calling in, when you say confusion, to calling, meaning in.
So how did you move from the confusion of it all to now turn it into a ministry, where you begin to gradually define and shift each moment?
Because I realized that if I don't share what I know now, with other women, then what good is going to do me that to have all this information not pile up. So I sat one day with myself, by myself, because that what's have been happening lately. You're by yourself because you don't want no friends. And I say to myself, this needs to be heard somewhere. Whether the coaching is for free, whether it's for paid, it's not important to me. Because what I have been through, I can't put a price on it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I prefer
Mm.
I prefer deal with people than
Mhm.
educate people, help them than worry focusing on making money. That's why the academy is $5. There's a reason why. I want you to come in there and learn. I don't care about your money because for 2 years I didn't have any. So yeah. So it's not going to help me today. It's not going to make a difference today. What can it do today? It can't do anything today. Because if where I was, I didn't have, and I made it through because of God's grace and mercy. Why am I coming to tell someone you need to charge? I need to charge you $500 or $100 just to come to learn different skills in the academy. We are here to help you because when you've been through something, Miss Leah, you understand the pain and the ache. You understand the sleepless night. You understand what you missed out because someone did not educate my mother. Someone didn't educate my sister. Someone didn't educate my aunties. All they were told them is that you are old, so hide this. Don't even let your husband know because you are old. He will think that you're old and this worry, but he's going to go and cheat on you. So they was focusing on the outlook, but not the inner part that was bleeding and crying for assistance.
Let me ask you, can I go a little bit
Sure.
deeper there?
Yeah,
You
sure.
have another book that you said that is for men as well, for the
Yeah,
significant others.
yeah.
So, what do you wish that your families or your loved ones or the ones closest to you would have known when you were going through it?
I wish if someone had educated them, es- men. I created a book with my brother called Men of Companion. And this
Oh,
let's
okay.
go. Yeah, let's focus on the male now. Now the male has no clue what's happening to you because remember they came from the same home that you came from. It was never spoken about. So when I created the Kayla story, I was like, how can I leave out the men? The men are lost. We're going to educate all these women now, but then the men has nothing to read. There's nothing to speak about. Nobody telling them the same thing that we've been through. So now I have a husband that does not know me at a certain age. Because this could happen at 35, 45, 50. It could happen at say, a client was 28. So now you have a husband who don't know you. But I am well equipped to speak to women. But who is well equipped to talk to the men and them? So I wish now that the same way, the same I wish for me as a woman in my family to know, I wish for the men to know. So we created Men of Companion for partners, husband, and men to understand the transition of the wife. Because they too are going through a transition. They too is gonna might be dealing with andropause. They might be dealing with certain different things. And again, it's not spoken about, so it's spoken in the carpet. So you're not actually losing your wife. She's going through a transition that you need to understand, because you can't have a wife who's functioning normal and one day she wake up and intimacy become an issue, cooking become an issue, cleaning become an issue, going out become an issue. Who is this woman? And the only thing you find, the divorce rate gone higher. Because
Mm.
immediately the husband said divorce, the wife say okay, even though she have to cry and scream, but she doesn't want the stress, because you might
Yeah.
end up going outside and then she have to tell herself how to deal with her next woman. So it's best they divorce me because I need to stay safe. And if you're not making me feel safe, then just leave. So we created men up to help the husbands
Mm.
as partners, and men, just for them to understand that you're not losing your wife. There's a moment. So the more you know and the more you understand your wife, the better you could have a happily marriage. Because
Oh,
what you don't know is going to crash. But if
yeah.
you know, so while she's reading her Kayla's story, he's reading his men.
Yeah. I
So
love that so much. So I love how you created something for both man and woman to grow from and grow through, because it could be a hard, scary time for the husband who's now watching his wife and he doesn't know how to help. He doesn't know what's going on. Everything is a shock. So I love that you put words to the situation that the woman is going through and let the man know that you did nothing wrong. You
no,
can't really fix this. You just have to be supportive through it.
yes, yes, yes,
I
that's
love that. I love that. I want to ask you, what truth set you free once you understood what was happening with your body?
the truth that set me free is knowing Christ died for me. This is Christ's body, and He's the masterpiece of my body. So since He
Mm,
created this body, I start living in the truth that this is His body, and He could only give me what I can carry. As bad as it might seem, it is still His body, and He designed it. So He know what Susan Hazel could
mm,
carry. So I live in the truth that this is God body. I'm just doing His work. So I had to renew my mind that God created me. And we keep saying God will give you more than you can carry, as much as you think that you are carrying plenty. So I had to feed myself with scriptures, understand why I'm in Christ, renew my thoughts every day, renew myself every day, and say, this is God body. I shall live to do the works of God. I shall live to declare the works of God. I'm going to continue doing His work. And what kept me? Psalm 27. And I have to remind myself that I'm His masterpiece daily. So
mm.
if He created me, why am I so worried?
I know that's right. Oh, I
Yeah.
love that so much. What would you say to some women right now who are still going through this confusion? They hear everything that you're saying, but maybe their story looks a little bit different. Maybe they don't have the support system around them. Maybe they feel like this is never going to end. What would you say to some of them?
I will tell them, same thing told myself to get to this level. Is a transition that we all are going to go through. Best thing to do now is get equipped with what's happening to your body. You are not alone, and your body is not betraying you. Your body is coming to alignment just as puberty. We went through puberty, and you hear our parents say, leave him, leave her, leave him, leave her. They're going through puberty. So we are going through our puberty, which is perimenopause. So don't feel lost. There is hope there for you. Read, educate yourself. Don't let no one tell you that you are crazy. Understand your body. As long as you can understand your body and you could start journaling, get a notebook, go to the store, make it, you put heading perimenopause and put a question mark. And then you put a period, right? A full stop, as we will say. And you start from day one. When I wake up, this is what happened. This is what takes it. This is what I think. Yes. And you start journaling. You just start journaling. And then you will realize that, okay, when did all this started? How can I make myself a better me? See what triggers your body and know what to stop, know when to start. Have a time to go to sleep, a time to wake, have a time to pray, have a time for everything. Now you realize that going to the bathroom for me and coming back out, I say thank you, Jesus, just to get to the bathroom and come back. You give God more thanks now in your life in perimenopause because you realize that what you took for granted once is not for granted. Because we tell ourselves we always going to be the same way every day. We never knew this was coming upon us. We just assume it's menopause. And that was it because nobody spoke about the body changes. That's the thing about it. So
Good
they're not
gracious.
alone. They are not alone and the body's not betraying them. They're not
Let,
alone. It's just a transition. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
no, I love that. Thank you so much. And I think a lot of women need to hear that as well. I love the fact that you highlighted that you're not alone. Your
Yeah.
body is not betraying you.
Mhm.
You're going through this. Let me ask you, if menopause is an invitation, what is it inviting women into?
Ah, it's inviting you to know yourself. It's inviting you that all the years that you said then, you need to start saying no now. It's inviting you to understand who you are because we live a life not knowing who we are. We live a life just focusing on everybody else and we never focus on ourselves. So menopause is teaching us to understand us. Who are you? What were you? What did you came into this world for? Who put you here? Why are you here? What do you need to do for God? What do you need to do for yourself? Because you have done children, you have done work, you have done scrubbing, cleaning, cooking, washing, running here, there, and everywhere. But you have not taken a moment to rest for you. So menopause, perimenopause is teaching us now how to accept, how to, well, I wouldn't say worship, but how to understand your body, how to love your body. Because sometimes we tell ourselves, oh, our bodies is no big deal. I can do what I want with it. I could run here, run there, flip script. No. Menopause is teaching you to love yourself. Because some of us did not love ourselves. And why we didn't love ourselves is because we thought we just assumed that we're going to have it going on all the time. We didn't realize that there was a pause button. And all what we've been doing, where all what we have done, where is it today? Some of us don't have anything to show for it. So this is why I want to tell the younger generation, younger women, that you have to find time to know who you are. You have to find time for the calling and the purpose that God have upon your life. You cannot only find time for everything else and everybody else, and then you don't find time for you to rest because we have not been resting as women. We have been
No.
called upon and called upon and called upon, and we have just
Mm.
go in and say yes, 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 yes. We have said so many yes, there was no no.
Hmm. Mm-mm-mm.
And menopause is teaching us now how to say no because remember, I need to rest. And I'm
Yeah.
not able to say, well, it's perimenopause. Sorry, I can't do that.
It will force you to rest and sit with yourself. Let me ask you, what kind of growth surprised you the most?
The growth that surprised me the most after doing God is just knowing that there is so much I can give from just dealing with perimenopause. There's so the growth I see in myself is learning to understand women better at a certain age. Let's pretend that we are using an age that that when you see people reacting a certain way, I start assuming one time, don't respond. It could just be perimenopause. So the growth that comes,
Interesting.
yeah, the
You're
growth,
learning your own limits.
yeah. So the things that I will just always try to figure out, I just back off and I say, maybe she can be dealing with perimenopause. So I don't let it bother me no more. So I'm growing to understand. I'm growing in a way for me, understanding, but also understanding everybody around me. I'm like, okay, just maybe what age is this? And then people would say, well, I've finished menopause. No, you have not finished menopause. Menopause is until you died. you know, you just are bleeding for a year. So that's called menopause. But then there is nothing that tells you, well, when you finish menopause, you're out of menopause. Now you have the arthritis, you have the bones, you have the aches, you have the pains, and then what did they tell you it comes from? Menopause. So you're still going through it. So we really have to take care of our bodies as women a certain way that when we get to this stage, that we have something to fall back on. We can't
Mm,
do the drilling for everything. I'm just drilling, 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 run, 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 run.
mhm,
I
mm.
sorry I did it, but I learned and now I want to share with other women. I'm not saying don't do what you have to do, but remember to rest.
To
We have our
rest and know your body.
yeah, yeah. Our body will say yes.
Oh, no, 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 no. I love that, and I love that revelation of it all. That we will go through this, but we're maturing, we're growing, we're learning about our bodies, so we're learning how to handle it differently. Let me ask you, for women who are listening right now and they feel like they're just losing it, I'm losing control. Like I think so often, especially us being women, we're moms, wives, we want to control everything. But we're going through this, but we feel like we're losing control. What would you say to her right now? What does she need to hear in this moment?
What I would tell, same thing I tell myself, right? I thought I was losing control. I thought the whole world was against me. I assumed that there was something happening somewhere that I need to fix everything. And then when you get in to that position where you have to pause that button because nothing is working, because you just can't do anything. You are not going crazy. You can pause. You're supposed to pause. And if you're going through it right now, you have to understand, and it goes back to the same thing I would be saying. You have to learn you and you have to understand you. So you can't do nothing unless you don't understand what's going on with you. And know that if it's perimenopause you're dealing with, or know if it's something else. And just focus. Yeah, just focus. And if you, as I say, if you go to all the doctors and nothing is working, you tell yourself it's perimenopause. So don't feel lost. You are not lost. There's somebody out there going through the same thing that you are going through. Just find your group, find the right connection. That is why I have a WhatsApp menopause group, because you need to be in a circle of whatever you're dealing with. If you want to be a millionaire, you start looking for at millionaires, right? So you you have to find your connection so you can learn and grow, because you assume that something is wrong with me and nothing's going to happen good for me. I can't move out of this. I did not say that to myself. I sat searching and looking for answers because I didn't know who I was. My body is not my body. I don't know this person. How did I get here? The first I keep asking myself, how did I get here? Like, who is this? So you start baby steps and you continue. And every day is a growth. Every
Yeah,
day is a win. You tap yourself and say, I did it well today. I wasn't
I did it.
yesterday. Yes. So you have
Mm,
to look for the challenge in it. What
yeah.
challenged you? And then you have to tell yourself, okay, I did it better than last week. Last month I was a little more. This month I could give myself a 5% added on to what I have. And every month, even if you might fall short 2% next month, always remember that you can do better the next month.
I
So it's
love
for
it.
us. It's for
Progress
us.
is progress.
Yeah. Doesn't matter if it go up and go down. It's just
Yes.
it's gonna catch up. Just catch up.
Yes. Yes. Let me ask you. I looked up Susan. I'm like, oh my goodness. I love when conversations go like this and we look up when we ran out of time. And but I do want to ask you a couple more questions before we lose time. I want to ask you what feels most sacred about the work that you are doing right now.
What feel most sacred about the work that I'm doing right now? What feel most sacred is that women could come into a place and not be judged. Women could come into a place and know that the host know what she's saying because she's speaking from her experience. And nothing is better than experience as the great teacher. So for me, the sacred time is that women could come on a Zoom and we all could get together and share. Because there's no but when you in a place that you don't know no one and no one is understanding you and you can't function, and you come to a Zoom and everybody's like, oh, she's menopausal, she's not. You're trying to get scared. So I try to make it a sacred place in what I am doing, and for me it's a sacred place for me also. I find time with God as to be just be in that place of peace, and as I say, knowing that He got me. There's an angel walking on my side to make sure that I'm okay. And there's one walking on my side to make sure I'm not okay. Choose the one that is speaking positive, not the one that is speaking negative. Now, know when to rest, as I say. There's come a time when you have to, like, I will probably finish this all and I have to take off the makeup and sit quietly, drink my water, look for a little fruit seed and look for my dinner and calm myself. That's all good because that's part of the right? So don't lose yourself. Just find the sacred time for me is just knowing that I can give women back what I've been through and share with them. I'm learning from that.
I love that so much, and I feel it. It is received. I love your story, your authenticity in telling it, and you hold nothing back, which is great because people have to find themselves in in your story so they can heal. Let me ask you, Miss Susan, where can we find you? Where can we find you? Where can we follow you? Where can we find these groups and your books?
Books. Okay. So my books are on Amazon. Susan Hazel. Um, Brain Fox sometimes steps in, so forgive me. So Susan Hazel, Menopause, the Killer Story is My Body Betraying Me. And we have the Men Men Up Companion. It's also on Amazon. Both books are on Amazon. My social media handle, Platinum Queen Bee, on Instagram, TikTok, um, YouTube, same Platinum Queen Bee. And more or less, I guess we could probably link that in the description at when the video is, right? Right.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
everything is on Amazon. I made sure it's Amazon because the reason for that, I don't want to deal with orders.
Same.
I
Same.
might make a little less, but it's fine. It's all about giving the information out. I want to just not have to worry that I have to go to the post office or the mailman is downstairs to pick up something. No, perimenopause have its mood swings and its days. So what we do in perimenopause, we try to stay safe. So anything that makes us feel safe. So these
Yeah.
books can be bought on Amazon, and
Can you show us?
sure, yes, and it's very reasonable. I made sure I did it based on not the money. This is $10. 9.99. It was not about the cash. It was just about getting the information out. And then we have the Men Up, which I tell people when you're buying it, it's not more than $17. So you're buying two books for the price of one. Please get your husband. Please give it to your brother, give it to your cousin, whoever you could give it to, because it's nothing wrong in learning. So like my eldest son, he's in the Caribbean, and he hear me speaks about it. So now when I say something, he's like, "Okay, mom, I understand," because nobody's telling them. No, it's just spoken about. So if you don't speak to them about it, who's going to tell them? No, I don't drown them with it, but we have our little sessions where they understand that when you have the wife, this is what she's going to
Mhm.
go through. I'm guarantee I don't think you're going to get a sister again, right? But make
Right.
sure you have a wife, right?
Right.
So
Right.
know how to deal with your wife, understand what's happening, and then because they're being trained in that format, they're not going to
It's
have to.
not going to be foreign to them.
No, no. It's like when a woman said this is happening, it's like, okay, my mom dealt with it, and this is what she did.
Yep. Yep. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Miss
sure.
Susan, for coming in and dropping this knowledge and
Yeah,
just filling us up with your ministry and what you do. Thank you
yes,
for creating a safe space for women to come learn. Even,
yes.
and I'll say this, I love the fact that you said that you have your Zoom classes where they
Mm,
come in and, maybe you don't feel like speaking, maybe you just want to
yes,
listen. I do believe that that's what you
yes.
offer.
No, yes,
Until you're strong enough, right, to
yes,
tell your
sure.
story.
Yeah, one,
And I love what you do, Miss Susan. I love that you're bringing
yeah,
awareness and you bring awareness to men as well.
yeah.
So that I think that's so
They need
beautiful. Uh, well, I want to thank you for coming and
it.
pouring here at this well. Thank you for telling us where to find you, where we can join your classes. I just want to give you back the floor if you want to just leave us with something to hold on to at the well
Yeah,
before you get
yes.
out of here.
Thank you, Miss Leah, for having me. It was a pleasure. I keep looking forward to being here today. It was something exciting that I was going to dress up. I was going to just play a pretty little girl and come on here because I haven't done it in a while. Maybe like a year and a half, right? So I look forward for this time. I look forward to spending time with you. I listened to your Instagram. I listened to YouTube. So it was just being here. It was like a breakthrough in a
Mm,
different platform beside being on my own platform talking
right.
about perimenopause because I know it's going to be out there and the exposure
Hmm.
is going to come for the woman to hear. So thank
Yes.
you and your team for having me. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
I appreciate
Thank
it. Thank you.
you. Thank you so much, Susan. Thank you for
Yes,
being here. All right, ladies, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Woman Witness podcast. I want you before you log off, I want you to hit subscribe. I want you to make sure that you are following us on YouTube on the Woman Witness TV location. I want you to run over to Roku, download our Woman Witness TV app. That way you can catch your favorite episode on Roku TV. And of course, listen to it anywhere the podcasts are played. I definitely want you to go over to Miss Susan's Instagram, go grab her book. I love when you guys give us feedback. I love when you put it in the comments. I love when you hit follow, hit like, and just share your experience. Share what you have taken away from this episode. We would love to hear it. All right, guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Woman Witness podcast on the Woman Witness TV network. I'm your host, Lia Fortier, and perhaps you were chosen for such a time as this to write, to tell your story, your truth. Until next time.